The Porsche 911. It's more than just a car. It's an icon, a legend, a machine so deeply ingrained in automotive culture that changing it in any way is practically a crime. Think about it. For 60 years, Porsche has stuck to a simple formula. Rear engine, 6 cylinders, an unmistakable silhouette, and a driving experience that makes grown men cry. It's the automotive equivalent of a Swiss watch, precise, timeless, and utterly mechanical. And yet, here we are. The unthinkable has happened. Meet the 2025 Porsche 911 Hybrid, aka the 992.2 T Hybrid. It's not just a tweak, not just another new model year refresh. This one dares to change the very DNA of the 911. We're talking electrification, not a full EV, but a hybrid, part gasoline, part battery-powered wizardry. 518 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds, an electric turbo assist, and no, there's no plug. Sounds impressive, right? A 911 that's even faster and more responsive? What's not to love? Well, let's just say not everyone is thrilled. Picture this, a classic car meet, a group of grizzled Porsche diehards, air-cooled purists who would rather push their 993 down the road than drive a water-cooled model. You casually mention the 911 hybrid and suddenly, it's like you just insulted their entire family. A hybrid in a 911? Blasphemy. For them, the 911 is about mechanical purity, a raw, unfiltered connection between driver and machine. No batteries, no electric trickery, just an engine, some tires, and a whole lot of German precision. But Porsche thinks differently. This isn't the first time the 911 has faced controversy. Think about it, the 964, people rioted over power steering. The 996, water-cooled? You might as well drive a Toyota. The PDK transmission? Real drivers shift manually. And yet, every single time, Porsche proved them wrong. Every single time, the 911 got better. So, is this hybrid another step forward, or has Porsche finally pushed too far? Today, we're diving deep. What makes this hybrid so special? Does it still feel like a real 911? And has Porsche just taken its biggest risk ever? Buckle up, this is going to be one hell of a ride. Alright, let's get nerdy. The 992.2 T Hybrid isn't your typical hybrid. There's no plugging in, no silent city mode, and absolutely no eco-driving guilt trips. This is a hybrid built for speed, a performance-first approach that takes everything we love about the 911 and cranks it up another notch. To understand how this system works, imagine you're on a track, exiting a tight corner in a traditional turbocharged 911. You go full throttle, but for a brief moment, there's that small, almost imperceptible delay as the turbos spool up. It's the kind of thing you'd only notice if you're really pushing the car, but it's there. Now, imagine that delay is completely gone. That's what this hybrid system does. It uses an electric motor integrated into the transmission to fill in the power gap while the turbos build boost, ensuring that torque is delivered the instant you ask for it. The numbers are staggering. The 518 horsepower output coming from a 3.0-liter twin-turbo flat-6 paired with electric assist rockets the car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.9 seconds, making it even quicker than a 992 Turbo S. The top speed, easily 190 miles per hour plus, because, well, Autobahn. The trade-off? The hybrid system adds some weight, pushing the total mass to around 3,700 plus pounds, about 100 pounds heavier than a GTS. But here's where things get really interesting. This isn't a hybrid designed to save the planet. Unlike the McLaren Artura or even some hybridized Ferraris, there's no EV-only mode, no plug-in charging, and no claims of 50 mpg efficiency. It's a performance hybrid, engineered for one purpose, to make the 911 even faster. Forget about creeping silently into your driveway at night. This is still a loud, aggressive, unapologetic 911, just with a little bit of Formula One-style electric wizardry under the hood. The big question is, does this hybridization make the 911 better or just too perfect? Because while instant power and no turbo lag sound incredible, some argue that perfection might actually be a problem. If a 911 drives like it's always in the perfect gear, with no hesitation, no quirks, no waiting, Does it still have that raw mechanical connection that made it legendary in the first place? That's where the debate really begins. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the purists. Porsche enthusiasts aren't just passionate, they're devoted. They treat the 911 like a sacred artifact, untouched by time, and any deviation from its historical blueprint is met with uproar. Since the model's inception in 1964, Porsche fans have resisted change at every turn. First, they rioted over water-cooled engines, claiming it was the end of the 911's distinct character. Then they scoffed at electric steering, convinced it would rob the car of its legendary feel. And let's not forget PDK, a transmission so fast and so precise that it made manuals look outdated overnight. Yet enthusiasts called it soulless when it first arrived. Now, the latest target of their fury, the hybrid 911. The argument is simple but emotionally charged. A 911 should never have a battery. To purists, the idea of electrification in their beloved sports car feels like an intrusion, like putting an AI-generated solo in a classic Led Zeppelin song. They see it as a dilution of what made the 911 special. The engine in the back, the distinct mechanical rawness, the symphony of unfiltered combustion. Those elements are what define the 911 experience. And to them, adding electric components is not just modernization, it's an outright betrayal. But let's get real here. The last pure, air-cooled 911, the 993, made 282 horsepower, a respectable number, but by today's standards, that's barely warm hatchback territory. The new 992.2T hybrid makes nearly double that, hitting 518 horsepower and a 0-60 time of 2.9 seconds, a full 1.5 seconds faster than the 993. That's not just an improvement, it's a completely different league. It obliterates lap times, eliminates turbo lag, and makes acceleration feel borderline supernatural. So the real question is this: is this hybrid evolution or sacrilege? Has Porsche simply found a way to make the 911 even faster and sharper while preserving its character? Or has it crossed the line into something that, while undeniably brilliant, no longer embodies what a 911 should be? For some, numbers don't matter if the soul is lost. For others, evolution is inevitable, and refusing it is just nostalgia in disguise. The debate is more heated than ever, and the hybrid 911 is at the center of it all. Numbers are great, but they don't tell the full story. A 911 isn't just about being fast, it's about how it makes you feel behind the wheel. So how does this new hybrid version actually drive? To put things into perspective, let's stack it up against two benchmarks, one from Porsche's purist past and another from its most serious modern-day rival. First, we have the 993 Carrera 4S, the last of the air-cooled 911s, a car that enthusiasts still worship for its raw mechanical feel, lightweight, agility, and purity of driving experience. On the other side, we have the BMW M4 Competition X-Drive, a car that represents the brutal efficiency of modern German engineering. Nearly 500 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and a mission to embarrass everything in its price range on the track. The 911 Hybrid, meanwhile, is stepping in as the wild card, packing an electrified punch but also carrying the weight and price tag of something far more exotic. The 992.2 Hybrid smokes the M4. Despite being a hybrid and carrying more weight, it's still a full 1.6 seconds quicker around the track. That's a massive gap at this level. To put it in perspective, in racing terms, that kind of difference is the equivalent of an entire car-length lead per lap. The Porsche's hybrid system isn't just for show, it's actively making the car more explosive out of corners, turning every exit into an instant slingshot. The 993, it's not even in the same galaxy. With a lap time over 11 seconds slower, the beloved air-cooled classic simply can't keep up with modern technology. As much as purists love the feel of the 993, the fact is that progress has been relentless, and the hybrid 911 operates at a level of speed that would have been unthinkable in the 90s. But here's the real question: does the hybrid feel too perfect? Lap times don't tell the full story. Yes, the 992.2 Hybrid is an absolute missile on the track. Yes, it obliterates the stopwatch, but does it engage the driver in the same way as its predecessors? One test driver summed up the problem perfectly. It's so quick, so smooth, it feels like it's doing all the work for you. A little too Audi RS e-tron GT? And that's the risk. Porsche has spent decades refining the 911's driving experience, making each generation faster and more capable than the last. But at what cost? The magic of the 911 has always been its imperfections, the way it forces you to learn its quirks, to work with it rather than just letting the computers take over. The 993 Carrera 4S, despite being miles slower, requires absolute commitment to get the best out of it. There's no turbo assist, no hybrid magic, just a raw mechanical connection between the driver and the machine. You feel every inch of the road, every weight transfer, every slip of grip. It's an experience. Flawed, but deeply engaging. By contrast, the 992.2 hybrid is brutally efficient. So efficient that some fear it's lost its edge. Every corner exit is perfect. Every shift is perfect. Every launch is perfect. It's so fast and capable that it risks feeling sterile. This is the fundamental dilemma with modern performance cars. At what point does technology stop enhancing the experience and start replacing it? Because at the end of the day, the best cars aren't just the fastest. They're the ones that make you feel something. And that's where the real debate begins. Is this the greatest leap forward for the 911, or has Porsche built a car that, while undeniably brilliant, might be too perfect for its own good? So, has Porsche just taken its biggest risk ever? Or is this simply the next chapter in the unstoppable evolution of the 911? There's no denying that the 2025 911 Hybrid is a technical masterpiece. It's blisteringly fast, hitting 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds, thanks to instant torque from its electric motor. It eliminates turbo lag completely, making acceleration feel effortless, immediate, and borderline unnatural in its smoothness. On a track, it's devastatingly effective, shaving seconds off lap times and proving that hybridization isn't a handicap, it's an advantage. If you love the idea of a cutting-edge Porsche that can outpace an M4, destroy a 993, and deliver the fastest 911 experience outside of a Turbo S, then this car is a dream. It's a statement that performance cars are evolving, and Porsche is leading that charge, with engineering genius rather than gimmicks. But for the purists, this might feel like the end of an era. For decades, the 911's charm has been its raw, mechanical engagement, a car that made you work for its speed. There was always a learning curve, a relationship between driver and machine. Even the modern turbocharged 911s still retained that classic feel. The turbo lag gave you a heartbeat of anticipation before the power arrived, making every acceleration a thrill. But now, that moment is gone. The hybrid system makes everything instant, everything smooth, everything predictable. And here's the real question. If a car is so good that it eliminates all the imperfections, does it also remove some of the fun? It's heavier, it's 200K plus, and yes, it's part electric. Some will say it's the natural next step, while others will argue that Porsche has crossed a line, building something so perfect that it's lost some of the soul that made a 911 special. So now, it's up to you. What do you think? Drop a heart emoji if you think it is Porsche's boldest evolution yet. Faster, better, and the future of performance. Drop a broken heart emoji if you think this isn't a real 911 anymore. Too perfect, too digital, too far from its roots. And if you want more in-depth car breakdowns, track battles, and controversial takes, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us for the next one. This is just the beginning of the hybrid era, and we're here for every twist and turn. See you in the next one.